Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 465 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada, recorded February 2nd, 2026.
We need your help. To support Canadian Patriot Podcast, visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com, the homepage, and follow the link on the right.
Excellent. Brings us to our favorite segment of the show. What are we drinking for plausible deniability?
All right. Well, for myself, trying to clean out the liquor cabinet in preparation for our mass evacuation from British Columbia. So, let's see here. It's Bailey's and Kahlua tonight. Um, yeah, just kind of throwing it on ice and makes you a nice, refreshing drink. And yeah, why not? Patriot Challenge. As luck would have it, work found myself. Work actually took me to Hawaii, and I managed to do a pretty serious hike. The distance wasn't very long, but the elevation change was 2,000 feet, and it was a grind. So that was good. Got back yesterday from that. So lots of water, then, before, and after. Still playing catch up. Um, yeah, reading, learning a second language to improve my fighting position
Nice.
because I want to start my own junta.
Huh.
Yeah, that was good, and yeah, did actually lots of swimming, obviously while I was there
Well,
too.
that's
So
good. There's
yeah, it's been.
uh there's a hike in Hawaii that I've always wanted to do, although I guess it's not allowed anymore. It's the one that like goes up to like the peak of a mountain where they had an old radar station. So it's all stairways and everything.
Why would they let you do it anymore? Is it there was an eruption or something?
No, no, I think they just this ever since like the war finished, they like haven't kept it up because it's not needed anymore because radars have gotten better and everything. So they don't need like an antenna on the top of this mountain. So like the stairway hasn't been kept up,
Hmm.
and I think a few people have fallen.
Oh, jeez. Well, when we were leaving, we passed over Maui, and we actually saw the big observatory up there. That looks like a freaking hell of a hike too. If you wanted to try and do that one, that'd be like impressive in itself too. But the one I did was the Captain Cook Memorial one. So yeah, you basically have to go down to where Captain Cook met his untimely end in the Hawaiian Islands, and yeah, you go do your swimming and stuff, come back up. But it's yeah, very very steep.
Yeah,
It's
so the one I'm thinking of is the High EQ stairs or the Stairway to Heaven in Oahu, and 3,922 steps ascending the mountain.
oh jeez, that's even worse than that one I did in Japan for 3,333.
Well, yeah, but yeah, apparently goes up like the ridge and everything. So like it's, if you've ever wanted to like summit a mountain but do it easy because there's a concrete stairs, that's the one to do.
That's the one to do. At
Well,
least
yeah.
if you slip, you're not gonna fall too far.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's got like a chain on one side anyways, but yeah, apparently some people still have fallen and whatnot. So they've shut it down, but I would love to do that one day.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, yourself, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Signal Hill and the Pepsi Zero. Patriot Challenge stuff. Drinking my water, doing my reading, all the usual stuff. Um, Trying to think when the last time we had a show was. Went ice fishing
Oh,
a couple weeks ago with some of the other former panelists, an occasional panelist. It was a good time. So practiced, not freezing my ass off, and had to do some repairs to hovercrafts and snowmobiles and other bits and pieces that came out onto the ice with us. So that was
so
always fun and exciting. Was in Vegas for SHOT Show. I decided to not get a cold, but bring one to Vegas. Um, Though
fair
it's not
enough.
really a cold, like I was sick a week or two prior to that, and it's just like this congestion that's been hanging on, and it's still here, which is why my voice is maybe sounding a little weird. And it just won't fuck off, even though like I feel perfectly fine. So also been experimenting with some home remedies that the other half has been putting together, which I'm thinking gave me the shits too, because that's always fun.
Nothing
She
like
made some like ginger lemon honey concoction, and like it worked. Like it cleared up all of my congestion and everything, but like I had like a giant thing of it one day, and I'm pretty sure it gave me the shits.
well, I guess it like took care of some congestion elsewhere too. I mean,
Yeah, just
it's
everything came out the bottom end.
yeah.
But
Good. So, hey, so how did the hovercraft? You said like left some parts behind, like the unsuccessful test run of the hovercraft, or fairly
um
successful?
well, so our former captain of the ship here at CPP managed to get about 100 meters out on the initial run, and then hit a bit of a bump from either like a pressure crack or just like a snow drift or something. And it didn't, really get all that airborne, but it did have a bit of a thump when it landed. And because we're dealing with some materials that are from the 80s and have sat outside in the sun and the elements, um, some of them got a little brittle.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
so the steering on it is basically just like a cable that runs through the frame to the blades. And as you turn the bike handles, the cable just pulls, the blades one side or the other.
Yeah.
But for that to work, you've kind of got to have them, at least a little bit taut, right? When it went over the bump, whatever was holding that cable in place snapped.
Oh.
And so we could only turn one direction.
Well, like a Zoolander style.
Yeah, so it was just basically just circling on the ice and a couple of the skirt. So it's not actually one piece, it's lots of little bags. Some of those bags where they attach came loose. So they're just zip tied in so that like if they meet resistance, the zip tie snaps and you don't lose a bag. But it was sort of a couple of them right at the front. So we were nose heavy because we weren't getting good lift on the nose and turning in one direction.
Ah.
Yeah. So we opted to just bring that to shore and put it on the trailer and deal with that at a different time. Because we didn't
Yeah.
want to get, a kilometer out like we were and then it break down again and now we've got to get it all the way back. But yeah, and there's still a couple of little things like it runs and it works. It just still needs some fine tuning though to make it like reliable. Because to get it going, we had to pull the plugs and chuck a little gas down the holes, put the plugs back in, and then start it. Because there's like something gumming up the carburetor, but like we've cleaned it several times. But we probably just need like some compressed air to get in there and really just blow out all the little nooks and crannies and make sure that yeah, she's good to go. But
Hmm. Yeah, it sounds like one of the pulleys that, like with the wire might have just fallen off the mount, and then yeah, it takes care of
yeah,
the
so
tear.
I mean, it was one of those like we could spend 5 minutes and fix it. We opted not to because at the same time we were also having some issues with the snowmobile. And then as soon as we ripped the air filter off, it started to work just fine. But that's fine because you don't need air filters in winter.
Not a whole lot of dust.
Yeah, so good to go. The old Argo though worked. Better Andrew's dirt bike that he spent some time drilling studs through a set of tires also worked, and he was ripping around the ice on that for a bit.
That's
So
quite the motley collection for sure.
yes, so it's a good time.
Awesome.
But yeah, the hovercraft needs just some fine tuning to make it reliable, and then she'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if anybody else has some vehicles they want to talk about, we'd love to hear your feedback about the show. Please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Version of the show is available on iTunes.
excellent. Upcoming events. I know that the Barista Lake Remote Military March will be coming up. as will the Finnish Reserve Resul 4-day march and the Army Run. Started sending me emails already, so those will all be coming up this year. The Sportsman Show will also be coming up soon in March. And apparently TACCOM is back.
Really?
Yeah.
This September
They,
again?
yeah, they've announced I don't know, maybe a week or so ago that it'll be on in September. So some things to look forward to, maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know what you're going to buy there, but
Yeah, because I think tactical would pretty much or fun. It's pretty much banned now. So
yeah,
so
yeah, fun in general in this country is
yeah,
just banned.
yeah. Can I please have it? No. Well, I was just saying the other day that my three hobbies I was primarily kind of pursuing, which was firearms, drones, and ham radio. They've been like restricting and clamping down on through all three of them so hard that they've sucked the fun right out of them. So
Well, I guess it's a good thing you never got into 3D printing.
that's yeah. Well, don't even get me started about that. So
Oh, yeah.
anyway,
Well, another favorite hobby, vaccine injuries.
well, good thing there was none, right? Or do we know
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
no, exactly. Not a single one. The headline on this is a little misleading, but not entirely. Um, Health Canada has locked away internal reports on vaccine and drug injuries for up to 15 years, citing the sheer scale of the records involved, according to documents tabled in Parliament.
Well, one would think if there's a sheer high volume of documents that they would need all the time they can to go through them. So open them up now.
Yeah, one would think. Yes, this disclosure emerged in an inquiry of ministry response detailing unusually long delays under the Access to Information Act. So,
Yeah, I had a friend of mine put in an ATIP on a bunch of stuff on vaccine injuries, and they basically just said no, which is interesting because if it was safe and effective and the science was settled and all that stuff, that there'd be pretty quick ATIP response. Would be just like, well, we have zero records done.
yeah, I mean that would mean that there wouldn't be so many pages. It'd just be like, here's everything we have. It's a blank page.
Or it's like 10 pages of like mild irritations or something. But
Yeah. Yes,
anyway,
the Health Canada has confirmed that its longest current extension is 15 years, covering a request for vaccine and adverse drug reaction reports dating back to 1998.
yeah,
Uh, Officials have said that the request originally involved several million pages of records. It has since been narrowed in scope and is now being processed, but the extended delay remains one of the longest on record within the federal government.
yeah. The interesting thing is like, let's assume that there is something in there. Heaven forbid. I mean, I know that's conspiracy theory, and those things never come true. But
Yeah.
um, let's just say in 15 years that something does come out. It's kind of funny how a lot of the people that were involved could quite statistically be dead of old age by the time that actually happens. A lot of
Or potentially for no reason whatsoever, they could just be dead.
or they could just have fled the country because 15 years is a hell of a good head start for hide and seek. All I'm saying. So
Yeah, I'm just curious, like with a lot of this stuff coming out now, and I know they already like said that you can't sue them or whatever, but like if somebody were to try anyways, I wonder what the statute of limitations is on suing somebody for a vaccine injury is.
probably around 15 years is my guess.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like,
Because I would say if you had a successful suit, they'd probably say, well, it's moot now anyway. So it's
yeah, you're beyond the ability to do that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that's not coincidental at all. But
Yeah. Um, Public Health Agency has also acknowledged lengthy delays tied to pandemic era records, with one request extended by more than 5 years. But yeah, again, why are people needing to pull this information if this was so safe and there were no issues whatsoever?
yeah, it's a mystery.
it's almost as if people are trying to look at older records and see what the instances of vaccine injuries were then versus what they are now.
Or maybe chart it or something, you know.
Yeah, and see if there's been an increase or decrease or if it's the same. I mean, I would speculate wildly, but I don't think that I need to.
Yeah. Well, we don't want a thing completely banned. Just shadow banned is good enough, I
Yeah.
guess. So,
Yeah, this is crazy though. So yes, it's happened because of a conservative MP, Colin Reynolds of Elmwood, Transcona. He's asked, since January 1, 2020, what's the longest extension currently underway? So they've also reported an extension of 10,000 days, roughly 27 years, for a request received in 2023 that involved about 200,000 pages of documents.
yeah. And for reference sake, 10,000 days was literally the length of the Vietnam War.
Yeah. So they're not really sealing them. They're just taking their sweet ass time to release them.
They're just not opening them. You know.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Apparently, though, there have been some emails released in 2019 that showed some departments weighed political considerations before releasing information.
Which is odd since they should be
Well,
bipartisan.
yeah, weird.
Hmm.
I mean, the information is the information, and it shouldn't really have any political bias.
Yeah, the science shouldn't lie, or it should be quite settled.
Yeah, weird.
I don't know. Speaking of weird,
Yeah, some more bullshit. Things that'll never see the light of day. New federal grocery rebate will cost $12.4 billion, says the Parliamentary Budget Office.
now is this more or less generous than the one that Trudeau gave out?
I mean, what was he giving? Like $30?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like almost nothing.
So this one looks as if it's going to be a little bit more. Um, where's the here we go. So in its first year, the benefit will give low and moderate income Canadians eligible for the GST rebate. So that's how they're going to do it. They're not going to go, here's all of your other things, and here's your grocery rebate. They're going to tack it on to the GST rebate. And it'll be a one-time boost that raises the $1,100 family of four sort of thing to 1,800, almost $1,900, 1,890.
Hmm. Almost like they're buying votes.
Yes. And then the increase, the individual from $540 to $950. So both the family or an individual will get a few $100s.
Yeah. So I
So
mean,
coincidentally, the other half and I went grocery shopping today. We got food for 3 or 4 days. That came to about $200. So we'll maybe, if we're eligible, which I'm sure we're not, but if we were to get this money, we would maybe be able to get a week's worth of groceries out of this.
yeah, because I mean, Carney being the big thinker and all, like I mean,
Yeah.
he couldn't do anything better than copy an idea of Trudeau's, which maybe he suggested in the first place, being the advisor and stuff. But who knows? But I think it's safe to say, without any sort of debate on this one, is that the cost of food has certainly skyrocketed since Trudeau
Yeah.
first offered the same deal. So it's gonna go even like the money, every dollar goes less distance than it did before. So I mean, this has all been announced for the last what 2 weeks. They're starting to show some indications that they're getting ready for a snap election. So I mean, like the timing of this is sus at best. Because not only
Yeah.
have the grocery prices haven't been a problem for the last, well, roughly 10 years, but
Well, yeah, I mean, like Trudeau had the thing where he threatened to like tax them more if they didn't lower prices, and that was
genius.
a couple of years ago. Which I mean, personally, like great, like I get some of my money back with no interest paid on it, but like probably not going to be eligible for this. So it doesn't help everybody. It helps only the people that are at the bottom. And even then, in like the least way possible because it's like a week's worth of groceries. So like, great, I've managed to not starve for one extra week.
Hey, you know what actually would do a much better job of fairly and equitably distributing like grocery cost savings?
Hold on, are you going to suggest a tax cut?
Yeah, silly me.
Because shockingly, I agree that that would be a very easy and fair and equitable way of doing this. Like, stop taxing people, stop taxing the grocery stores. Like, make it like a double whammy. Like, take a couple of points off the taxes that grocery stores pay, take a couple of points off of what we pay at the register, and that'll add up and help us every single time we go to buy groceries.
And I mean, heck knows it's going to probably create a few more government jobs having to, manage the grocery add-on to that tax check, the rebate check. So you create more government
Well,
workers, so you increase the cost of government, and I mean,
well,
it
yeah,
doesn't actually add anything to the GDP. It's just a negative. But
that's the thing. Like, someone has to pay for this. Whereas if you just give them a tax break, no one has to pay for it. No one has to administer it. It just works.
yeah,
Like, this is it is kind of funny though that this is also Bill C-19. I mean, they may as well just call it COVID-19 because this is also just a giant scam. But,
yeah.
but yes, the
It
timing of this is strange.
Well, there's been lots of indications they're going to call a snap election because they actually truly believe in their heart of hearts that a lot of conservative people are supporting Carney. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely think that yes, there is a potential for this election that because like yeah, they're starting to do this. Carney had his big speech in front of the elites that everyone is raving about, just like they did about JT when he did his speech there, you know. But then like he continued to tank the country, which I'm sure Carney will also do.
Quite effectively, I'm sure.
Yeah. So one of the funny things here that they say here is one of the ways we see relief from price increases is wage increases.
Oh god, it's the fight for 15 all over again, right?
Yeah. But yes, there has been no significant change in most minimum wages. Yeah, but I know for the listening audience and everyone else, you've probably heard this a billion times on this show, but like, who are the people that make all of the food and everything else? The minimum wage worker. The minute that you raise their salary or their hourly wage, the cost of producing that good goes up. So it doesn't
It's
make things cheaper or more affordable. It makes things more expensive.
which you think they would learn in California and BC and a bunch of other places, but
Or anywhere else that has had a wage increase forced upon them, especially like a ridiculous one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of ridiculous things that don't work,
Yeah.
there's demonstrators that don't work on in the Toronto streets.
Yeah. I mean, this is an interesting one, and I've got this in here just because it shows sort of like the weird flip-flopping of like what is and isn't okay for people to do. So tens of thousands of demonstrators filled Toronto streets in support of anti-government protests in Iran. So for the most part, it seems like everyone was on board with this. And I'm not saying I'm not. Like I think that yes, the government in Iran is terrible. If you look at like Iran in the 70s versus now, it has definitely gone backwards. So, you know, people should be out protesting this. But it's just funny that this seems to be okay, but then when we protest our own tyrannical government and the things that it's done, um, we get labeled as misogynist and fringe minority and have the Emergencies Act called on us and everything else.
Yeah, be alt right types and everything
Yeah.
else.
So throngs of demonstrators met at the city's downtown Dundas Square. For those of you legacy Canadians, um, estimated crowd of 100,000 people, which is pretty friggin' big.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not making fun of them, but people that would have a vested interest in Iran
Yeah,
certainly are not a large amount of people in Toronto. I mean, there's lots of them, but not as many as some other countries, like,
yeah, yes, they were all out chanting "Down with Khomeini," the Ayatollah of rock and roll. But yeah, I find it funny just the wishy-washiness of people like
But interesting though that they were, showing support of Khomeini, or sorry, against Khomeini, but showing support for the Shah Pahlavi there, which and he was installed by the U.S. He was basically a U.S. puppet. And in this day and age, where everybody's elbows up against the U.S., like I'm surprised they would actually like be before the U.S. puppet to come back. You think they just wanted independent republic to be put in there that is not a theocracy, and just take it from there instead of going back to basically a U.S. God King.
yeah, I mean, what do they want? Like the US to go in and pull a snatch and grab on Khomeini? Like, because if they do,
Yeah, well then also it'd be a good thing,
yeah,
because he's not. I mean, they're not communists, right? So I guess it's a different story. But
yeah, totally. Though, I mean,
yeah,
there is oil in Iran, so someone might want to remind them of that. Um, but yeah, some protesters apparently also showed support for Donald Trump,
hmm.
and they were waving Trump 2024 flags, which is I find hilarious. Like, same at like the Freedom Convoy and stuff like that, and it's just like you're not helping by doing that. Like, not that I have an issue with it, but also like it's not helping, and you look kind of stupid because like we're in Canada, he's in the US.
He's literally not your president.
Yeah, like of all the people that claim that, we can, and it's factual.
Yeah,
So it is a little weird that they have stuff like that there, but I don't know. I just find that funny. Also, they apparently had "Make Iran Great Again" hats, which apparently makes you a Trump supporter by copying his slogan.
and I don't think you want to say that acronym out loud too much.
Yeah,
Might get misconstrued.
yeah. It's only a couple of letters off. But yeah, no, it's just like yeah, absolutely they should be protesting terrible governments. No problem with that as long as they are peaceful.
And the reaction by the police is consistent.
Yes. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of funny that like just to compare and contrast the things that we're allowed to protest and then the other things that we're not allowed to protest and that we want the US to do something about this or our government to do something about this, but then we also get mad when they do the same kind of thing somewhere else in the world. And yeah, Just weird.
Well,
But
logic's never been a strong suit of certain groups, so
well, yes, that's the problem. The left-leaning people, consistency and all that is difficult for them. Yeah. So the Conservatives threw a big party in Calgary. Apparently also had a big party in Ontario, but different Conservatives. Both or neither that conservative, but it is what we have. So the federal Conservative Party had their big AGM policy review, leadership review, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So PP is still in. I think he got, what was it, 85% of the vote?
87, I think, to
87,
which was Harper got 84, which was the previous record. So he's actually got the highest support ever.
which is weird because Facebook was telling me that this guy is terrible and that
I
even
was,
his own party doesn't like him.
yeah, I was told the floor crosses were happening because it was all Pierre Poilievre's fault. It was nothing to do with bribes or anything.
Yeah. So PP still in, and I would say that, with 87%, that is a clear mandate, unlike what Carney gets, which is a different type of mandate, which is also very clear. But when it comes to him getting voted in, and they're saying that we have a clear mandate to do what we're going to do, it is not. Like 87 is a very high percentage. And yeah, the vast majority of people are supporting you, like almost 9 out of 10. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, and Carney had to basically kick the guy that we wanted out
Yeah.
of his riding in order to get in there. What was that guy's
Yeah.
name again that we loved so much? I can't remember.
Um, oh man.
Yeah, it was a good.
Chandra?
Yeah, there you go. Chandra
Something
area.
like that?
Chandra area.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, one other interesting thing that came out of the whole conservative thing, um, and got an even higher voting than PP got. Castle Law.
Yeah,
91%, I think it was.
which is basically just a function of what's happening in society as far as crime rates. I
Yes.
mean, so in other words, kind of sort short term, but thank goodness for the high crime rate because it actually like forced people to make a stand on that or make at least a public stance on it. Because up until then, everybody's like content to safely just avoid the issue, but now it's
Yeah.
becoming such an issue that they have to address it. I mean, there were some other things I didn't agree with what they voted on or how they voted on it, but I guess you
Yeah.
can't agree with everything.
No. You've got to pick the least worst option.
Yeah.
And I mean, he has reaffirmed that he is going to reverse the gun nonsense and introduce castle law. So, I mean, I used to be a single issue voter and now I'm a two issue voter. Although, oddly enough, they're kind of related.
There's a bit of an overlap there.
Yeah.
Well, the one issue basically drives all the other issues in the country anyway, so in
Yeah.
roundabout ways. So, all
Yeah.
right, well, but a good news overall though.
Yeah. And some other interesting things that kind of came out of all of this is like, so during all of this and like, after he won or whatever, and he gave like his little speech or whatever, he talked about his daughter that was nonverbal and she finally like said her first words or whatever at like, what is she, like 9 or 10 years old or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of you could see him kind of get a little like teary-eyed and choked up talking about this and sharing what it felt like a genuine moment. But the liberal commentators quickly called it cringy.
Well, they wouldn't understand because most of them just have cats, not kids.
Yeah, like that's shitty. Like if you don't like it and you feel like that, fine. Like, I mean, I get it. It's a politician, so you can never really trust them 100%. I get that. But like you don't have to be a garbage human being.
No.
Like it's one thing to be like it didn't feel all that sincere, like just like outright just call him cringy and that like it's a political stunt or what. Like, come on. Like the kid's autistic and nonverbal up until like now. Like he's probably super pumped about that because he hasn't been able to like, you know, hear his daughter speak for her entire life.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been awesome if her first words were like communists aren't people, but or something like that.
We can hope. Maybe those will be like once she develops a bit more of a voice, you know, we can only hope. But yeah, hopefully spring election, PP will ride this wave that the liberals don't even acknowledge, but they keep saying that Carney has like the highest rating ever of any prime minister ever in the history of Canada. And it's like, how? How can this moron do that? I have a feeling that the media is lying to me.
Well, just like the media in North Korea tells us that Kim Jong Un is the most popular leader ever. You know, when there's nobody else to argue with it, what can you
Yeah,
do?
he's the best leader we've got.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, hopefully some things that if there is an election might sway some people to vote differently. 24,000 public servants warned that their jobs could be at risk. Here's the latest on federal job cuts.
Now, from what I understand, like this particular article I haven't read, but they were just talking mostly about attrition, right? Like just as retirements just not getting replaced and stuff. So there'd have to be some people getting shifted around and stuff. But
Well,
wasn't that exactly what the conservatives were planning on doing?
uh,
So
maybe these bunch of people are leaving because they don't want to do the whole conscription thing into the reservist army to beef up the 2% GDP spending.
well, there could be that too. But I'm just saying that, like, again, another idea that they copied off of
Yeah,
PP. So
yes, but yes, the Canada Strong Budget 2025, which is the least true name ever. It outlined the federal government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service by 28,000 positions by 2029, with 16,000 full-time equivalent positions eliminated through the Comprehensive Expenditure Review. They just like to make up fucking names, don't they?
100%.
Let's just throw a bunch of words at this and make it sound like something. While 12,000 positions, including 350 executive positions, will be eliminated mainly through attrition and early retirement packages.
Well, early retirement will definitely cost us more money.
Yeah. I mean, I get, sometimes you got to do that to save in the long run, and I'm not against that. But maybe they need to do something a little bit more than just like waiting for people to retire.
Like a government squid game or something.
Yes, that would work. I would be in favor of this. You could even televise it and make people pay to watch it. But apparently, 23,063 notices have been issued to employees and executives in 24 core public service departments. They plan to cut 8,230 jobs and 425 management positions through workforce adjustments.
Well, it's good because I mean they were keeping on top of all the required paperwork and transactions so well up to this point that they probably are a
Yeah,
little overstaffed, right?
yeah. It's
I mean,
probably all people from the ATIP department.
Now that would make sense, right?
Yeah. Either way, though, I mean, like, slash it, slash it, slash it.
Yeah, every less this government job is better as far as cost goes.
Yeah. But in a contrary article, which apparently can't be reached now. Oh, here we go. How is Carney's government filling high-level jobs?
Well, I mean, my first thing would be nepotism and or you know what do you call it? Old boys club networking.
You would be correct, sir. Apparently, the champion of transparency and reconciliation and truth and all of that, the littlest of potatoes, Trudeau, put in some reforms on how the government hires high level people. Because, yeah, there should be some like criteria and transparency in that and like fairness, right? I don't disagree with that. You know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So it's possible that Trudeau did something good, or at least didn't do something terrible.
Yeah, at least it wasn't bad.
Well, yeah, but apparently, uh, some of these things have just been bypassed for some reason.
Hmm.
So if all goes to plan, not mine, his, Anton Bogman will soon become Canada's first ever Foreign Influence Transparency Commissioner. He's charged with protecting the country from foreign interference. But apparently, his appointment has been anything but transparent.
Hmm.
So rather than post the opening and call for applications, the Public Safety Department drafted a list of potential candidates. When our good friend here, Public Safety Minister Gary, asked for a longer list, it provided more names, including this gentleman, who was then the British Columbia Chief Electoral Officer. So he's not the only person that's been appointed to a government position without an open competition for the job.
Almost like our border czar, who's been busy securing our borders this whole time, right?
Yeah. So not good.
No. Speaking of not good.
Well, there's a lot that's not good.
Yeah.
But yes, we need some transparency. And we can't just, run around calling people terrorists like we did to a bunch of military men facing charges for being prepared for the zombie apocalypse, informant alleges. So we've talked about this a little bit before in the past, kind of when this first happened. Um, so there was a bunch of, I believe they were reservists
Yep.
in the military in Quebec that all got arrested for being anti-government and planning to take over this, that, and everything else. But new information from an informant in the case involving the three men accused of facilitating terrorism in Quebec has revealed that they were planning for a supposed zombie apocalypse.
Well, the CDC also planned for a zombie apocalypse. I don't know where that puts them, but
Which, I mean, if you put all those things together, that is them low key admitting that zombies exist.
it's true.
Just saying.
It could very well be that by preparing for a zombie apocalypse, you're pretty much ready for any
Well,
natural
yeah.
emergency that may pop up. But what do I know?
Well, the allegations are found in an information to obtain a document filed by police as part of an application to obtain a search warrant. These allegations and sourcing have not been tested in court. So I guess when you do an information to obtain, that goes through a lot faster process and an access to information request, which might take up to 15 years or 10,000 days.
Whichever's longer. Yeah.
Yeah, whichever's longer and slows things down more. But yes, a publication ban regarding this former member's name and the information he provided police as part of the investigation was lifted on Friday. So he provided voluntary interview with investigators, which lasted 3 days. However, the CBC is withholding the name of the former member as he is not facing charges. The CBC likes to redact a bunch of stuff, including the phrase New World Order. Yes, they were apparently charged for planning an ideologically motivated violent plot intending to forcibly take possession of land in the Quebec City area to rid it of zombies.
I suppose I could have just bought it, but
Yeah. Yes, this is again like more information about this comes out. It seems to be a little bit ridiculous. Like, they may have been running around doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing per se, but they were certainly not doing terrorist activities.
well, I mean, like, yeah, I get you're not supposed to have a militia in Canada per se, but there's nothing stopping you from having an exercise club
Yeah.
or a shooting club or an overlapping exercise slash shooting club slash preparedness homesteading club.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yes, apparently this informant saw military equipment being used. The informant allegedly participated in several training sessions with the group in 2022 and 2023. So it sounds like he wanted to be part of the club.
He didn't make the cut.
Yeah, and then decided to narc on them.
Sounds like a good thing he wasn't part of the club.
Well, well, I don't know. Hopefully common sense will prevail. And yeah, if they were doing things they weren't supposed to be doing or had things they weren't supposed to have, then, they should, I guess, pay the price for that. But they certainly weren't, in my opinion, being terrorists.
No, I mean, and again, like criticizing the government or whatever is one thing, but I mean, until that's actually threatened or brandished or whatever, I don't see what the problem is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh, we already talked a little bit about cat ladies earlier, but this is about a dog lady. Hamilton woman to pay a fraction of a $101,000 bill after province rescued 55 miniature poodles from her home.
I thought I had a lot of dogs.
Yeah. So nearly 60 dogs, some pregnant, were removed from this lady's home last July. How do you have how big is this home that you could have 55 dogs? Like I have a tiny dog and two cats, and that's enough.
But obviously, got to be a puppy mill, right? Is my guess.
I, I would guess.
But like, how could you live in that? Like,
Well,
I
just
don't know.
the can you imagine the noise? Like just the noise alone of them playing with each other. Like even if they're not like being aggressive or whatever, they're still gonna be barking at each other and snoring and playing with squeaky toys and chewing on things and just insane.
Yeah, I mean, the noise alone from puppies, noise like nobody's gonna sleep at night. I don't know. Obviously, at this point, it's a mental health case, but supposedly
Oh
she's
yeah.
taking care of her son. But I mean, maybe the son shouldn't be with her either. So
Well, apparently, and it should come to no surprise to anyone, the dwelling was covered in layers of feces and the floors were soaked with urine. There were dogs throughout the house, some in crates, all living in unsanitary conditions without adequate food or water.
Well, there's no way you're keeping up with that. Not one person.
Yeah.
I mean,
The dogs include a Maltese, a Shih Tzu, and a German Shepherd, and some had fleas and fur matted with feces, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, I'm glad that the animals were removed and hopefully placed in much better homes and not just euthanized.
oh, that seems to be our jam in Canada. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I'm sure they sent the RCMP in and treated them just as they would an ostrich and cost us several $1 million to do it. But apparently, they also found a dog hidden behind a bathtub within a wall cavity.
oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I'd want to get away from the other dogs too at that point.
Yeah. Apparently, the province paid over $48,000 for veterinary services and $2,000 for grooming. I mean, if my government's going to spend my tax dollars on anything, I'm okay with it being spent on looking after dogs.
At least
Now,
get out of a bad scene until it's time to get readopted. Yeah.
yeah, apparently the woman that did this was unemployed and in debt. No shit.
Yeah.
Can you had like the food bill on that?
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's just not sustainable in any sense of the word. Like even if she was selling dogs to make ends meet and running a puppy mill or stuff, there's no way you're gonna find somebody that's gonna be willing to buy out of that house because it's chaos, right?
Oh yeah. And like I imagine that like the value of that house is just like totally plummeted because how are you going to get that smell out? It's probably soaked in the floorboards. So that'll be a knockdown if and when she finally gets out of there. Hopefully it's not a rental.
Yeah, feel for the landlord at that point.
Yeah. Although it probably is a rental given, the situation. But yeah, thankfully the dogs are all safe. But that's just insane. 55 friggin' dogs in one house. I would lose my friggin' mind, and I like dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in a house that had like 5 or 6 pugs, and that was chaos.
Yeah. Well, we have basically three on the inside, one on the outside, and that's too much. I mean,
Yeah.
we only got this two small ones, and the anticipation the old one was going to be dying off by now, but that didn't quite happen. So anyway,
Well, if you need a few more, I
no, I'm
know where
good.
you can find some.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of the news for this week. So, Ian, where can people find you when you're not here?
Well, occasionally it seems, not often nowadays. You can find me on Canadian Prepper Podcast. Do 9 p.m. on Sundays on YouTube. Also found on Spotify and iTunes and everything else. You can also email me direct at theidletreat@gmail.com, where we can talk about, zombie apocalypses and stuff like that. And,
Yeah, but
you
not
know,
like no like tradecraft secrets or nothing, because that might get you arrested. Just
no, and no, we definitely don't use military hardware to talk about zombie apocalypses either.
no,
So,
just canning supplies,
yeah,
which
just,
also might be verboten.
and lots of ham radio, but also verboten and
Yeah,
hunting verboten and, you know,
yeah, yeah. So maybe don't email Ian about any of
yeah, I don't
this.
know. Just
Yeah,
if you want to talk to me about, like, I don't know, soap making, maybe we can talk about that. I don't know or
yeah,
something.
just not the Fight Club type of soap making.
No,
Yeah, that'd be wrong.
yourself.
Yeah, you can find me on the Instagram, UrbexGTA. Also, apologies to Rod. Rod does not have 55 dogs in his apartment, so that's why he wasn't on the show today because he can't give any insight into that whatsoever. But hopefully, we'll get him on the show soon. I'd also like to remind everyone that you are a small fringe minority with unacceptable views.